before I start singing. Tommy, can you hear?
Ready? All right, it is a skosh past 1 o'clock, so I will call this meeting order. This is the Tuesday, June 30th Budget Evaluation Team Special Meeting. Let's go ahead and get a roll call. Cassie, can you do a roll call for us, please?
Cody Compton,
Present.
Christy Miller, Amy Lawrence, Danny Honeycutt,
Present.
Danny Lambert,
It's Kelly Lake for Danny Lambert.
okay, thank you. Miles Davidson,
Miles is calling in, so I'm going to step out.
okay. Mike Morrison, Brandy Mertens,
Present.
Turn my microphone on.
thank you.
Okay, if Miles is calling in, we need to wait for him. Unless Jane wants to sit for him until he gets called in. Okay, it looks like he's coming up now. It's Maryland.
Hello.
Miles, you're with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty. Notice this meeting was properly posted Friday, June 26, 2020. Item number 1, discussion and possible action to set date, time, and place meeting will reconvene in the event technical difficulties arise during the course of this meeting and cannot be corrected within a maximum of 30 minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'd move we reconvene at 11:30 tomorrow in this room.
I'd second that. All right, there's a motion and a second to reconvene at 11:30 tomorrow morning in the event that technical difficulties arise that cannot be fixed within a maximum amount of time of 30 minutes. Cassie, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Cody Compton,
Aye.
Amy Lawrence,
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt,
Aye.
Miles Davidson,
Aye.
Mike Morrison,
Aye.
Brandy Mertens,
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
Aye. Aye.
All right. Item number 2, discussion possible action regarding funding recommendations to the Budget Board from Special Projects Fund 1400 CARES Act. Does anybody have anything before we get into the meat of the agenda here?
Did y'all get the thing I sent out last night?
I'm sorry.
I sent out, there was one of those items that I missed getting that page changed out, and I sent it out last night. Did you get that?
I got it. Do you have it here?
Forgot to copy it and bring it.
Okay, if you could have somebody go ahead and bring that down, because I think we need a motion to receive that for the board. We don't have to do it this very moment, but before we're done.
I've got a copy of it, Karen.
You do have a copy?
I do.
Okay,
Talking about the one from the court clerk?
yes.
Yes. Is this the one?
I think
Yeah.
we all got it via email, just for the record. And that, Mike, here, go ahead and get it. Okay, this is related to item number 139. There was just one box that had a wrong entry in it. It was corrected, but not, it was not attached to this agenda. The correction was not, so we'll go ahead and, if we get a motion and a second to receive that document, that will be what we go off of when we're considering item 139. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I moved to receive the item.
Got a motion by Mr. Honeycutt to receive. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Mertens. Cassie? We're not mashing buttons today.
Cody Compton.
Aye.
Amy Lawrent.
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt.
Aye.
Miles Davidson.
Aye.
Mike Morrison.
Aye.
Brandy Mertens.
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right, we have several attachments to this agenda item. Do we have any consideration on any of these items?
Are we still waiting for a DA's opinion on items 12 through 23?
We received the DA's opinion,
Okay.
and it is a yes.
Okay.
I don't know what we do with the document. I have the original. And I made copies.
Okay.
I have copies if anybody wants one. Do you want a copy, anybody?
No, thank you. Aaron, is there an issue with us receiving that document? Okay. Is there a motion to receive the document related to the DA's opinion related to the county clerk's the court clerk's reimbursement for their Fund 1210 as
So
it
moved.
relates to COVID-related expenses? Ms. Mertens has moved to receive the document. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Honeycutt has seconded. Cassie, when you're ready, can you please do a roll call vote?
Cody Compton.
Aye.
Amy Lawrent.
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt.
Aye.
Miles Davidson.
Aye.
Mike Morrison.
Aye.
Brandy Mertens.
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Is there any other discussion on any of the items attached to the agenda in item number 2?
Did the election board items get cleaned up? It's like 89 and 91.
Well, I still had a couple of questions. I did get an email from the election board. I've not had a chance to get back with her, and I know they're extremely busy, and we've had a lot of stuff going on, so if it's okay with this group, I would like to hold 89 and 91 until I'm able to look a little more closely at that. I'm sorry.
Is that a motion?
I think we can clear that up on, later on. I'd move for the recommendation of the balance of the items, excluding items 89 and 91.
Okay, we've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Honeycutt motioned, Ms. Mertens seconded the item to approve, or to make a recommendation to Budget Board to approve reimbursement for the items listed in item number 2, with the exception of numbers 89 and 91. Cassie, when you're ready, can you please do a roll call vote?
Cody Compton.
Aye.
Amy Lawrent.
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt.
Aye.
Miles Davidson.
Aye.
Mike Morrison.
Aye.
Brandy Mertens.
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
Aye.
Item number 3, discussion possible action regarding recommendations to the Budget Board to approve request for relief funding expenses from the Special Projects Fund 1400 CARES Act. We have 2 requests attached. Those are both from the Assessor's Office. So Mike, if you would like to let us know what these 2 items are, you have the floor.
First item, which is labeled number 3, is purchase of 51 laptops at the price of $949.99 each. They are new laptops that will be issued to our employees that will give us the ability to work from home. Previously, we've had to borrow equipment from the clerk's office, and then we've had to rely on some old equipment that is going away. So we're going to have these new PCs for us to be able to work with these issues in regards to COVID, with our employees working from home. It also gives them the ability to do video conferencing. Some of our tablets did not have the ability to webcams and speakers. So this will give us the ability to do communications over Zoom meetings and so forth.
And Mike, this is anticipatory?
Some of them are working from home now,
Okay.
yes. It's obvious we couldn't wait for something to happen, because if we have to wait and order, then if you even have the ability to order something and get it within a reasonable amount of time. So we are taking a proactive approach in getting things in place.
Will these laptops be assigned upon the decision of, okay, now we're going to move to remote working, or will they just get assigned automatically?
They will be assigned to employees, and then based upon the needs of those employees, if they're working from home or in the office, they would have the use of that machine.
So if they are working in office, will they get a laptop assigned to them?
Yes. 'Cause currently, we have, 81 employees, of which 30 to 31 of those are field appraisers that already have these devices. And the reason we have to have laptops is we're VPN, of course, using our desktops, because our appraisal software requires a PC desktop. The laptops are not powerful enough to run the software appraisal system that we have. So this gives you the ability to come in to the VPN connection, connect to your desktop, and use your desktop as if you were sitting at your desk.
Now, Mike, I think you had mentioned a minute ago that you guys were utilizing other borrowed equipment. If you got this, what will happen to the borrowed equipment that you guys are currently
We've
using?
already had to return it to the clerk's office. Yeah, and the machines that we're using, they were set to be retired. It's just that we happened to hold on to them at the time that because our office closed for approximately 9 to 10 days. And we were fortunate at the time that we closed that we held on to units that were being decommissioned and used for, get rid of them. And so we had the ability to spread those plus borrow machines to allow us to work from home. So, but those are going away, so now we need something that is in its place.
The borrowed machines that you guys had, does Kelly, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but you guys had purchased quite a few of the laptops and loaned them out. Now that those are being returned back, do you guys have a specific need for them, or would they be able to be utilized in this endeavor so we didn't have to make another purchase?
I would imagine they could be still used for this endeavor, but I am really not, I don't know for sure how many of them have been loaned out or returned.
Yeah, at the time we borrowed them, there was 10. That's all that Mr. Hoot could provide to us, which was very gracious of him.
We also got to borrow laptops during this time from the clerk's office, so, and I think we still have them, so.
Okay. Is there any other questions? noticed the attachment, there's not an estimate on here, but when I went online, there was one, so I was happy with that. There was a screen print of the machine. If we do have a recommendation on this, let's make sure that that screen print is attached to the application piece when it goes to budget board.
Okay, last time I tried, I couldn't get any of the links to show up.
Okay. I was able to get it pulled up this morning, so it may have
Okay,
been
I haven't had a
something that was
chance to look
fixed
this
since
morning.
then. And I appreciate you guys putting that in there. I think that's something that we all need to think about going forward. That
I felt it was important, too, that gives you a better understanding of the actual machine or the request, so that you
Right.
have a better understanding of that, yeah.
Yep, I appreciate that. Is there any other discussion? Is there a motion?
I'd move the item,
Move approval?
yes.
Okay. We got a motion to approve by Mr. Morrison. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Ms. Laurent. Cassie, can you please do a roll call vote?
Cody Compton,
Aye.
Amy Lawrence,
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt,
I support the need of it and the concept of it, but I'm a little concerned about the anticipatory expense aspect of it, and so I'm going to abstain.
Miles Davidson,
I have to agree with Mr. Honeycutt. I'm not sure that we're ready to do the anticipatory type of stuff without a good answer from the county clerk's office of knowing if they can just keep the machines and just transfer the funds over. I've got questions, and I'm not an abstention. I'm just a no for now.
Yeah, we currently do not have those machines in inventory or even used. They have been returned back to the clerk's office.
Well, and when you told me that it was just 10 that you guys had, I would think that them having those 10 as flex units for other areas would be beneficial, so.
Okay.
Mike Morrison,
Yes.
Brandy Mertens,
I'm going to have to echo Danny and Miles and say no.
Kelly Henley.
I'm going to abstain.
When we have 3 yes, 2 no's, and 2 abstentions, okay. Item does not pass. Item number 5, and I talked to Bob Weaver, and going forward, the numbering on the relief items is going to be different, so I think these 2 items might see a number change on them. Okay. I requested that those items start at 1,000. That way, anytime we're discussing an ID number, it's clear whether, if we have 2 12s, one for reimbursement, one for, the relief funding, it gets a little confusing. So the number will be starting at 1,000 on these. So anyway, for now, this next agenda item is item number 5, relief ID number 5. This is also the assessor's office item, so Mike, if you want to present.
Sure. These are car chargers for the laptops that we currently have. All of our appraisers currently are using their vehicles as their office because we are unable to socially distance in our 4th floor appraisal office. All their desks within about 3 to 4 feet of each other. So all of our 31 appraisers are working from their cars. And typically, they would come back to the office in the afternoon to charge or charge their laptops before they go out. So we're having some issues with them not being able to keep their laptops charged fully for the day. So So we requested that we pick up some new car chargers so that we can keep those units charged while they're working in the field.
Move the item.
Do you have a screen print on your estimate, kind of like the other one? I couldn't see that attached on this one.
Must be where it's changed up both, so I put the adjustment on both places.
Okay. Okay. So let's just make sure that if this item passes, that the attachment is on there for budget board. Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second that.
Got a motion and a second to approve. Cassie, can you do a roll call vote, please?
Cody Compton,
Aye.
Amy Lawrent,
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt,
Aye.
Miles Davidson,
Aye.
Mike Morrison,
Aye.
Brandy Mertens,
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
I,
That one passes.
And I do want to clarify, I did get the last vote corrected to where it did reflect the bill.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 4, discussion possible action regarding policies and procedures related to newly established special projects fund. Anybody have anything here? Okay, if not, no action needed on item number 4. Item number 5, discussion possible action to receive an update related to the status of all cost centers set up within Special Projects Fund 1400. I requested this agenda item. We got, emergency management has a cost center set up, and facilities is in the process of getting one set up. So I thought it would be beneficial for us to have something on our agenda recurring, so we can ask questions related to how much money is still in the account, what's been spent, what hasn't been spent, what are we anticipating spending, whatever necessary questions that need to be discussed. So currently, it's just the emergency management department that has a cost center set up. Mr. Barnes is here. Mr. Barnes, do you have any information on that? And then you can stay up here. Item number 6 is an item for you to update us.
I think my best information is I'm ill-prepared for a dollar sign for you, but I can tell you that out of that account, we have purchased 480 4-ounce sanitizers and 1,200 of the containers of wipes. So out of the $500,000, it's very minimal been taken from that account.
Okay.
Likely less than 5,000, not even that, half that maybe.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Motion to receive the update.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to receive the update. Cassie?
Cody Compton,
Aye.
Amy Lawrent,
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt, Miles Davidson,
Aye.
Mike Morrison,
Aye.
Brandy Mertens,
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
I,
All right. Item number 6, discussion possible action to receive an update from the Emergency Response Committee. Mr. Barnes.
Thank you. And I will be prepared next time for dollar signs in item number 5. I was focusing on number 6. Emergency Response Committee continues to monitor COVID-19 related factors. We've had extensive discussion, particularly with the increased numbers that we're seeing statewide and in Oklahoma County, and possibly modifying the guidance that we're going to be recommending to the Board of County Commissioners. In fact, we have a recommendation on the agenda for tomorrow dealing with the use of face masks in Oklahoma County facility common areas, so we'll be moving forward on that. Obviously, continued support and encouragement for sanitizing efforts and PPE use throughout the facilities by all visitors, employees, et cetera. Our on-hand personal protective equipment inventory is stable in large numbers. We're looking at a little over 30,000 masks of the N95 and surgical style, and over 35,000 gloves in stock. We are beefing up the sanitizers. I've got 384-ounce sanitizers available for use and ordering another 552 today. And in the wipes, the containers similar to that yellow right there, we've got 1,200 of those currently available, and we're going to beef that up too. Those disposable items, the things that we go through, those are the things that we're trying to beef up the numbers on while maintaining a good solid stock of the mask and the recurring items that we're going to see. With the resurgence of numbers, we're certainly not certain what the actual use is going to be. And that brings me to a very, very important point. I sent out another email yesterday afternoon to all elected officials and to department heads. It's the second or third one. We are still needing use estimates, and a 30-day number is good because I can then extrapolate that and come up with some estimations based on the numbers provided to me as to what our order and what our inventory and stock should look like. Currently, I've received 5 of those, 5 BOCC departments out of the entire county. So there's a lot of additional information that I need from elected officials and for other department heads, and I would certainly encourage that, and this committee could assist me by encouraging that as well. Continuing basic documentation of positive cases among staff and coworkers within Oklahoma County facilities. I'm aware of 5 positive cases since this began, and caught rumor of possibly a 6th case this morning. And Mr. Matthews is working on that, and we'll have verification or further information. Good news, fraudulent employment claims have seemed to stabilize per Mr. Matthews and Karen Kent. I think we're well over 700, probably close to 800 of those in Oklahoma County, which is a phenomenal number when you consider how many employees we have. But according to Mr. Matthews, that has stabilized somewhat, seeing very greatly reduced numbers of those coming through. And he's still waiting on I think it's quarterly reports that they receive to see exactly what the cost factor is going to be. And because of their proactive measures and intervening in that situation and assistance with DA's office and other folks, they've been able to head that off, and it appears that they probably nipped that early. So we're doubting that there's going to be a substantial outlay of money, if any. But the numbers of claims have been greatly reduced. And unless you have specific questions, that is my report.
Miles, I know you're on that committee. Do you have anything that you want to add?
Sorry, just a second. We discussed a date and a possibility of people using those types of things that Mr. Barnes has access to, and using him as a clearinghouse. David, can you tell us what that date was and what's going on with that?
Yes, sir. The recommendation that we are making actually, it's on the next BET agenda, if I'm not mistaken, the verbiage is update and recommendation. But July 10th is a tentative, basically a deadline for getting estimates of use, or what they call burn rate, to us so that we can make accurate, hopefully accurate and very close estimations on projected use and be able to get the materials. But we are requesting that recommendation of July 10th deadline for getting those estimates back to me.
And that agenda would be Budget Board agenda, not BET.
Yes, sir. You're correct. My apologies.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think the point here is that as we move forward, we're all going to need PPE in some form or fashion. Money has been put in a cost center for Mr. Barnes through his role as Emergency Management Director to procure such items for the county as needed. If all the elected officials are represented up here, I think if we as an office anticipate needing anything from his supply, we need to let him know. That way he can make the necessary purchases. If a particular elected official wants to be on their own and get their own PPE, that's fine. But just notify Mr. Barnes, that way he knows that everybody's taken care of, whether they're taking care of themselves on their end or whether they're going to try to utilize the stock that Mr. Barnes gets. Because what we don't want to get into is if 6 offices say they need 10 masks, and so Mr. Barnes gets 60 masks, and the 2 offices that didn't say they wanted any all of a sudden want some, then that puts those other 6 offices that wanted their 10, you know, what do we do? And then Mr. Barnes is having to tell somebody, I'm sorry, you don't either get any because you didn't tell me up front, or you told me up front, but I gave some to somebody else that asked me before you did. So I think the request is that let's try to make his job as easy as possible and get the information ASAP to them, whether you want to utilize that
Well, and Cody,
purchase line.
Yeah, Miles. You got to remember, Cody, that we have a huge purchasing power if we all lump together. We can drive our costs down
Certainly.
and make our money go further.
Certainly.
So
I think
if everybody just out a little bit.
I think that would be the goal. But if there is somebody that just, for whatever reason, wants to go it alone, then let's let Mr. Barnes know that as well. That way he knows everybody's taken care of. Because I think that's his concern, is that everybody's covered. And without getting no, man, I'm good, he doesn't know whether you're taken care of or not. So let's try to get back to him with either a number or a no thank you as soon as possible.
Appreciate that. And it also ties into cost factors, because when we're buying in bulk, if nothing else, sometimes we have reduced shipping costs and different things like that. So if we can continue the purchasing in that manner. One thing I'm also adding to the recommendations to the Budget Board, to the Board of County Commissioners, is if an elected official or department chooses to stockpile some of their own, either all of their needs or part of their needs, that's fine. I have no issue with that whatsoever, but I would like to know about that. One of the components to scarce resource management is knowing what's available. If we were to get into a bind for whatever reason, either escalation of the virus or who knows, whatever, supply chain issues, whatever, just knowing that we have that there just in case that we could share across different lines would be beneficial. It's not that we're going to tap into that necessarily, and we would have no plans to do so. But again, scarce resource management, a real key to that is just knowing what's available, particularly short term.
Okay.
And David, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, David, I believe you said that the National Strategic Stockpile was going to be halting on distribution of PPE as well, and we need to start preparing for that now, should we have an increase or another resurgence in the fall or in a couple weeks.
That is correct. My discussions with the State Office Emergency Management, the Director, as of last Thursday and Friday, we've seen several peaks and valleys in regard to the duration of Strategic National Stockpile, but they're again saying it appears that that's going to be short-lived. So I won't be surprised if within a couple of weeks we start hearing that that's going to either taper off or end. I know that is one of the key measurable factors with Governor Stitt, is available PPE, particularly for first responders and healthcare providers, those kinds of things, along with available ICU beds and ventilators. You know, those are the main three things that you keep hearing numerically as hot button issues. And I know the governor is continuing to push on that. The Strategic National Stockpile is actually coordinated and controlled by the State Department of Health. But there is a limitation to that because they do, again, come from national stockpile, so it's a federal implication as well. And departments are encouraged to be sure and plan for the long term and not be solely dependent upon a single source, in this case, the Strategic National Stockpile. So thank you, Miles, that's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. And these are clearly anticipated items. I mean, that's clearly what we're looking at for forecast of things.
Absolutely.
So I'm not trying to rehash things, but when do we start looking at other items as anticipated items?
Yeah, and Mike, to your point, your computers, I think, is something that we need to examine as a whole, probably not just your office. That was one of my big reserves about it. And I think we need to look at our process about anticipatory purchases. Maybe it's one of those type things that similar to a handbook, and we bring it up, we discuss it, we sit on it for a week, and then we vote on it, just so we can gather enough information and make sure that we talk to all the right people and that our needs are met with these type of things. Because what I don't want to do, Mike, is you guys go buy 51 computers. Let's say the court clerk wants 30, and then somebody else needs another 50, well, okay, we just bought 120 and we piecemealed it, but if we would have bought it all at once, again, we could have taken our CARES Act dollars and stretched them further. So it's not that I don't understand your long-term need and your anticipatory need and appreciate starting that discussion and thought now. I just want to see if everybody's anticipatory needs as far as computers or like products such as PPE or anything else is addressed as a whole, so our purchasing power can be used as a group and not just singularly by office.
Yeah, my only concern is we've heard of shortage of equipment. Everybody's
Yeah.
looking for laptops and electronic communication devices because of what's happened. And that's my concern, is at some point, if we get to the point that we do order something, it's on back order for 3 months, 6 months, a year, something of that nature.
That
So-
was my concern, and that was the reason why I supported the item earlier. There are going to be things that are a little bit anticipatory, but they're anticipatory because of the pandemic. Miles, I do appreciate your comment, and I think that it's a great idea. And maybe a week won't put us too far behind the 8 ball.
No, I agree.
But I do think that we need to, if there are technology needs like this that are needed, we need to start thinking about moving fairly swiftly, because we did see back in March huge delays on computers that needed to be ordered and associated equipment. So I would hate for us to put it off too long to where we get into a situation to where we're ordering them and they're not here when we actually need them, especially as we're seeing these numbers that come out daily, higher than I think we all would like them to be. So I appreciate both points.
No,
think
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Maybe a week, we can revisit this. Miles, I like your idea of trying to get a better idea of an industry-wide, not industry-wide, but an organization-wide need, and see what we can, how we can tackle that.
Yeah, I think, we've got the best emergency management director in the state. Luckily, the state wasn't smart enough to hire him away. But if we could use him the way an emergency management office is designed and use him as our clearinghouse and our point of contact for these types of things, and maybe if there's technology needs, the 51 laptops, et cetera, if other people know that we're going to have those needs, if they could get those to Mr. Barnes with his other requests, then we can start tackling that rather quickly. And I agree that we did see large shortages in technology needs, and we're going to need to be able to fulfill those needs. And I'm also worried about the timelines and the shortages. So if we add that to Barnes' email that goes out to all the department heads, so be it. But absolutely, we need to look at this sooner rather than later.
And we can get Mr. Barnes to link in Dane and Rich in IT. They'll be able to help on that as well. So I agree, Mr. Barnes would be a good clearinghouse on the front end, so.
Sorry, David.
Yeah, I owe you one, thank you.
Yeah, one more thing.
Appreciate the
I might add that we only have 7 laptops left. So we're down low.
Okay.
Okay, well, I would assume that some of those are out with departments that may also be thinking they need to get new equipment because they may not be able to have this on a semi-permanent basis. So I think when we're looking at an organization-wide need, we need to keep in mind that we've got these others that are kind of, they may not be on the sideline now, but they may be later, and how we integrate those pieces with the overall product. So, and that kind of comes back to what Mr. Barnes was talking about earlier about having a knowledge base of items available in case of need, so. All right, any other discussion on item number 6?
I have one more. Just kind of reading the Daily Oklahoma today, it said that we have a jail employee that was tested positive for COVID, is that correct?
Yes.
And in part of the article, it talks about the instance with that, but it talks about, just verbatim, it says, temperatures are still being taken when staff come to work. Can you give us any indication as to what that, are we taking temperatures of employees, or are we just taking temperatures of inmates, or those that are at the jail?
Those are the employees coming into the building.
So we are taking employees' temperatures as they come into the facility?
Correct.
Okay. Is there?
Well, I can attest and help Danny out a little bit with that. I've been over there several times, and
So is there
and-
already a county,
doors.
is there already a procedure in place to do that for other county employees, if so deemed necessary?
I do not believe so. I believe the sheriff's department and the juvenile department, due to the nature of the tasks at hand for them, have instituted a little bit different protocol than the other county offices.
Can you tell me what type of device is used? Is it a wand, or is it a thermometer, or a camera?
It's the no-touch thermometer.
A no-touch thermometer.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah. And historically, the medical provider has an employee on,
That was my other
at the door.
question, yeah, is it an
Yeah.
employee or is it a
Now,
medical
we
staff?
also, on occasion, will have our own staff members, but they've been trained by the medical provider to perform that function.
Yeah, that's what I've been reading about, all the EOC requirements, yeah. Thank you.
Anything else?
Motion to receive the update?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to receive the update. Cassie?
Cody Compton.
Aye.
Amy Lawrence.
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt.
Aye.
Miles Davidson.
Aye.
Mike Morrison.
Aye.
Brandy Mertens.
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes. All right, citizen participation. Any citizens want to address the board may do so at this time. Seeing none, board comments. Ms. Mertens?
No.
Mr. Honeycutt?
Our hearts and thoughts and prayers go out to Commissioner Mon and his family.
Thank you.
Ms. Warren?
No.
Mr. Morrison?
Just encourage everyone to go vote today.
Ms. Henley?
No.
Mr. Davidson?
I would echo what Danny said, and with heavy heart, and then all prayers and thoughts go out to
Same here. He's in our thoughts and prayers. So,
Thank you.
end of vote. Happy New Year, everyone. It's New Year's Eve. Go out and come back safe tomorrow. See everybody next year. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion is second. Roll call vote.
Cody Compton.
Aye.
Amy Lawrence.
Aye.
Danny Honeycutt.
Aye.
Miles Davidson.
Aye.
Mike Morrison.
Aye.
Brandy Mertens.
Aye.
Kelly Henley.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
All righty.